tastes different. I don't know why, but I ain't against it. Let me tell you, I like a little bit of bite. I like a little bit of mud. I don't know how you make your coffee, but if you're listening to this, let me know in the comment section. Do you add creamer? Are you a big sugar person? Some people are all creamer and a little coffee. That's not a coffee drinker. I drink mine like mud, molasses, coating the tongue, wetting the whistle, and putting a little bit of a pep in your walk. Let me tell you, and that's exactly how Donald Trump was yesterday during the UN, and he wasn't happy because not only did the escalator break, which the timing of that was a little bit odd, but then the teleprompter broke, which the timing of that was a little bit odd. So basically, they were trying to sabotage Trump at the United Nations, which is obviously not somebody of the right. It's obviously not someone that's a conservative or independent. So let's be real here with what's happening. They're screwing with us. So now they're screwing with the president. They're trying to assassinate the president. They've assassinated Charlie Kirk. They're trying to silence your voices, which Google literally admitted to that yesterday, which we will cover because I have receipts that they are not doing this. Yes, if you're unaware, I've been doing the show. February will be 5 years I've been doing the show. I have over 100,000 subscribers. Just so you all know, we have the same amount of viewership when I had 1,000 subscribers, 1,000, and now I have 100,000, meaning I have 100x, 100 times more subscribers than I did 5 years ago, and I still have the same amount of viewership. Now, I'm not complaining about viewership, but they're telling me there's no censorship going on. There's no shadow ban going on. Verbatim, by the way. So I will show you those receipts of a personal conversation with Google. And then I'm also going to show you that they're saying that they were literally censoring conservatives. So a little bit of a odd thing happening there. And then Jimmy Kimmel is playing victim. So here we go. Always have to play victim, because if you play victim, then you're the person that we're supposed to feel sorry about. And then we're supposed to attack everybody that went after you, allegedly, even though we don't even know who the hell that is, because Disney's the one that went after you for saying a bunch of crazy stuff. Now, to be fair, I don't think he should have been removed. I said that before. And well, if we said something, we're the ones that would be removed. So we got a lot of news to cover, a lot of things to break down, folks. If you're here, hit that like and subscribe button. We'd love for you to join our community, even though we don't even know who of Patriots. And well, here we go. So Donald Trump gave a scathing speech off teleprompter, by the way, and slammed world leaders at the United Nations, warning that their countries are going to hell, which is not wrong. You look at what's going on over there in the European Union. Their country is absolutely being taken over. Their entire culture is being dismantled. You're getting arrested over there in the UK for posting stuff online. And it could be satirical. It could be an actual joke, and you're being removed. You're being deplatformed, and then you're being thrown in the brig. Well, Donald Trump spoke for about an hour. I think he went like 40 minutes over his time just to throw it in their faces, and unloaded on the United Nations, calling it incompetent, inefficient, weak, and warning that mass migration, climate alarmism, and political correctness were laying siege to the organization's founding principles. Everything he said was correct, verbatim. What purpose is the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I disagree with that. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a strongly worded letter and then never follow up with the letter. It's empty words, and empty words do not solve war. The only thing that solves war is action. And he kind of talked about this yesterday. Let me pull up the clip for you. He talked about this yesterday of how he has never gotten a phone call from the United Nations when he solved 7 wars. Why weren't they the ones doing that? Why were they the ones not being boots on the ground and fixing this whole thing? So let me see if I can find that clip for all of you of him talking about his teleprompter going out. And here's at least one of part of the speech.
Things instead of the United Nations doing them. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them. I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle, if the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. But she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the two things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much. And by the way, it's working now. It just went on. Thank you. I think I should just do it the other way. It's easier. Thank you very much.
I think so too, Mr. President. So there was that clip there that went viral yesterday. That was the one out of the entire speech that everyone was talking about, and good for him. Because not only does it show that they were screwing with the guy, but then it also shows that the UN isn't doing anything. And it's been like that for years. I said the UN just needs to be dismantled. It's a waste of money. Stop funding the damn thing. They don't do jack anything. And I told everybody during Dark MAGA yesterday, what was the last time you saw the UN do anything? I mean, I'm talking boots on the ground, because for me personally, the only time I can recall the UN, like a big UN movement, was during the weapons of mass destruction with George W. Bush, where they did like a UN assessment on the ground where they're wearing the blue helmets and they're going around looking for weapons of mass destruction, and they didn't find anything. That's the last time I remember them doing anything whatsoever. They didn't do nothing. Well, here's that clip of Donald Trump and the escalator. Now, what you're going to notice is the timing of it all is just really odd. It is really, really odd. So here he is. Watch the moment Melania gets on it. It's working. And right when he's about to step foot, it stops. I mean, the odds of this taking place is astronomical. Watch, she gets on it. And then right when he steps on it, it stops. Literally right when he steps on it. So he said, oh, halfway up. No, I don't think so. I think they did this because they believe he has health issues. You know what I mean? Or they're just trying to make, his life a little bit harder. There's the odds of it, folks, are insane. And then you combine that with the teleprompter, and that's just what we know about. Can you imagine? Oh, sorry. Yeah, the water's broken. The sink and the faucet in the bathroom's not working. The toilet's not working either. Sorry, you got to go down the hall. I just imagine, right? So you're telling me that the UN that's given all this money can't get an escalator to work properly? Yeah, I don't know. Weird. Not sure if I believe that. So he gave scathing remarks yesterday. Now, there was this that came out from the Times, where to mark Trump's arrival, UN staff members have joked that they may turn off the escalators and elevators and simply tell him they ran out of money, so he has to walk up the stairs. So it's not like we're just pulling this out of our you-know-what. So first you have this theory. Then we saw the video and go, wow, the odds of that happening, like a statistical analysis. Going, that's a little weird. I don't think that's right when he steps on it. A little odd. The teleprompter goes out. Well, okay, that's even more odd. And then you get this, where staff members were talking about it beforehand. Okay. Yeah, we're just conspiracy theorists, though, you guys. Cheap fakes, deep fakes. Yeah, everything's fake now. Nothing's real, according to Karine Jean-Pierre. So thank God she's out of her job. She sucked. What else do we have here? We also have immigration. So Trump devoted much of the speech to immigration, warning Western allies that their insistence on allowing unfettered mass migration was destroying their countries from within. And then we covered that on Bald Brad. Matter of fact, if you want a great article to read, head to baldbrad.com. Again, that's baldbrad.com. Head to the blog and you'll have a great read. I use a lot of statistics there, and I even cite the studies that I got it from. So you can check that out. But Europe is falling. I would say London has fallen, and I'm not so sure if it's coming back, folks. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I'd be kind of surprised. When your prisons are filled with so-called asylum seekers who repaid kindness with crime, it's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. Correct. But it's not going to stop, because this is the left's ideology. The left still thinks socialism works. It just hasn't been done correctly. Same thing with immigration. Open borders works. It just hasn't been done correctly, folks. That's always the answer with them. See, conservatives, we're different than Republicans. Conservatives, we conserve values that have been known to work over multiple generations, multiple civilizations, if possible. So we conserve those values because we know that they work. And then you got these psychos leftists goes, well, conservatism is anti-progressivism. No, No, we're actually progressive. It's just we want to progress slowly so that the things that we do utilize and conserve are known to work. See, that's how you progress. Is you don't just shout stuff to the skies and want to implement policies and regulations and limit people's liberties and freedoms on the very thing you want to do without any proof that it actually works. See, that's how they work, right? They shout stuff to the skies. We talked about this so many times. They do all these things and want to do all these things, but then they don't understand, well, how's it going to limit the freedoms and liberties of my fellow countrymen? Let's just do it and see if it works. Oh, but then when it fails, and then your rights are chiseled away, they're still there, but they're chiseled away. Oh, well, don't worry. We didn't implement it correctly. It just wasn't tried enough. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. That's always the excuse. So Trump took aim at the UN's decade-long push to embrace far-left green energy initiatives. That was the big global push for ESG scores. That's still being pushed, by the way. Glenn Beck has a phenomenal book. He has a sequel to the original ESG score that he wrote, but highly recommend Glenn Beck's book on that one, which he said have been ineffective, thereby increasing our reliance on China and other bad actors. You also have the Palestinian state that he spoke of, because other countries now are wanting to recognize the state of Palestine. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for those horrible atrocities, including October 7th, even while they refuse to release the hostages or accept the ceasefire, the president said. So you have legitimately people that are being controlled by a terrorist group, and then you have a bunch of countries that want to recognize a Palestinian state that would be run by a terrorist group. But it's, again, I'm going to say it's some odd thing by the left. They love to support terrorism. I don't know what it is. And what's my proof here in the United States? They legitimately were giving the Taliban, and I believe still are, $40 million every 2 weeks. Now, I was told by Tim Burchett, it's $80 million every 2 weeks. I was told by Tim Burchett that that was not happening anymore. And that also came from Legend, who has been on the Sean Ryan podcast. But then just the other week, Legend was posting that this whole thing was still going on, that the Trump administration still giving them $80 million every 2 weeks. So I'm kind of lost in the weeds on that one for all of you, but I thought we had it figured out. I thought we have it covered, but I guess not. So we'll see what goes on with that. I'll try to find some information for you guys and give you updates on if we are in fact really giving them $80 million. Now, the big one yesterday, too, there was a lot in the speech, man. I mean, he revealed a lot, was talking about Ukraine and Vladimir Putin. So after his address, Trump announced a separate meeting, or he went to a separate meeting with Vladimir Zelensky and emerged with much more support for Ukraine than in the past. So I think he sees that there's nothing going on with Russia. Russia ain't wanting to move the needle. Russia wants war. There's not going to stop this. So you got to pick a side, basically. So Trump initially vowed to end the war on day one, which is true. And I told everybody during Dark MAGA yesterday, if you don't know what Dark MAGA is, it's a podcast that we do on evenings, Tuesdays and Thursdays, where we get a little bit more spicy. We go over a long form video and we just have more fun in the chat and kind of hang out together. And you need to be a part of usually Rumble Premium for that. Some days throughout the month, we unlock it for everybody. But I said to them that if the left says, well, Trump said he was going to end it on day one, they are correct. Sometimes they're right. And you just have to kind of let that one bounce off you. You can't let it kind of can't let it aggravate you. Trump isn't perfect. We voted for him. Most of us like him. And he's not perfect. So you got to kind of let those things go. You can't always defend every action Trump does and says. You'd go crazy. But on Tuesday, he said that Ukrainians could take 20% of their land currently held by Russia. I don't know about that. That seems like a far stretch. Writing on Truth Social, the president said that after getting to know and fully understand the situation, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. With time, patience, and financial support of Europe, key point there, of Europe, not the US, in particular, NATO, and original borders from where the war started, is very much an option. So that's a big, that was a big narrative shift by Donald Trump and a big language shift by him as well. So that's there for you. We'll keep you updated, obviously, on what's going on with the war in Ukraine. Here's also so much big news yesterday. It was funny because yesterday morning I was like, it's a pretty light news day. I feel this is nice. We needed something like that. You get off, and then it's crazy. You get off, and then the news starts going bonkers. Well, Google admitted Tuesday to caving the censorship pressure from the Biden administration and is committing to allowing all creators who kicked off YouTube over so-called political speech violations the chance to return. They literally admitted to it. So Google admits to censoring conservatives. Now, you want to know why this hits personally? Because if you're just joining us, I was literally told, and I will show you the receipt of just one video of many that I have, of them telling me that doesn't happen. They legitimately said that we aren't capable, we aren't allowed to do any of that. So it says here, Google admits censorship under Biden, promises to end bans of YouTube accounts of thousands of Americans censored for political speech. So today, which was just the other day, thanks to the oversight chairman of Jim Jordan, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations on topics such as, meaning these could be other topics as well, COVID-19 and elections, an opportunity to return to the platform. So again, the language is very, very crafty. They spent time doing this because they know that we know that they kick people off for COVID-19. I believe Dan Bongino was one of them. And they're talking about elections. But also, they were deplatforming people for legitimately saying that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. That happened to Charlie Kirk, by the way. It also happened to Jordan B. Peterson and the editor of The Federalist. Those are just three that I know off the top of my head. They were all deplatformed for saying like objective truth. So this doesn't include all the other speech that was there. And again, when you go from having 1,000 subscribers at 300 views to over 100,000 subscribers with still 300 views, meaning you have a uniform distribution, and you're going to tell me that you don't do it, it's a little bit odd, and obviously it's going to raise some eyebrows for me. So, do I have the receipts? Absolutely, I have the receipts to show you that this is what they were doing, even though they told me, nah, we don't do that. That's not something that we allow here. So let me pull up that clip for all of you. It's right here. I already have it pinged and ready to go. So what happened in this conversation was I told them what was going on. They asked me for proof, even though they spent minutes, like 5-10 minutes going through my entire channel to see what was going on. And they asked me for proof that I was being suppressed and shadow banned, that I went from 1,000. And at this moment, just to let you know, when I made this first video, I had 58,000 subscribers, 59,000. So yes, he left YouTube, but I believe he left YouTube because of the alleged violations of his political speech or something like that. So you asked for proof. So I showed you the proof, which I did. I gave him screenshots showing them, well, here's this and here's this. How is that possible? Because you would think when you grow 50 times the size that your viewership would at least move somewhat. I'm not saying like I'm growing like 10,000 views. No, any views at all? Something like it almost like there's a cap. Look at this. Here's your proof. And this shows you that I'm going to start cussing. So just a heads up. Just want to let you know this is bullshit because they're fucking liars. They're liars. And I just showed you exactly what Google released about YouTube. I just showed you that they're going to allow people to come back for their political speech, that they censored people. They removed them off the platform. They literally fucking did that. Look at this right here. Right here. YouTube does not suppress your videos. If your subs are not notified because they did not tap the bell icon or reason stated here, it leads to low views. So because you don't tap the bell icon, those 100,000 subscribers, they don't ever see your video, even though they're subscribed to it. Weird. Because I also addressed in the same thing. Why are my channel members being removed? They're being unsubscribed. Why are their comments being deleted? And I had a friend personally do this and show me screenshots at least 3 times. Why are they not able to find my videos? Why are you only showing them videos from like 3 years ago, but you're not showing them any of my current stuff? That's a little bit odd. So, a little bit weird. that they're pulling that, but here's that one. There's that one. It's a little bit, anybody want to make sense of that for me? Anybody want to kind of grapple at, oh, gee, well, they said one thing, but they were doing a whole nother thing. Odd. Even though I just showed you the receipts that Google admitted to censoring. So let me see just really quickly if I could find another video here. Let me see if I can find it in my catalog really quick. Forgive me. Of censoring conservatives. No, I just have that one. Because I have them censoring the Daily Wire. I have them censoring Jordan B. Peterson. And I know I had another one most recently. I'll have to find that for you. Of them saying once again that they don't have the capabilities of shadow banning somebody, even though we know that they do. So they're just a bunch of liars at this point. That's all they are. They're a bunch of liars. Unbelievable. So Jordan can't rest easy on the victory. He is concerned that the next threat to free expression has already begun to creep across the Atlantic and form of European speech codes. Absolutely. I mean, you're kind of seeing this already a little bit with the implementation of the ID. You have to verify who you are across the Atlantic if you're going to utilize social media. So that'd be like uploading your ID. A lot of you said you weren't going to do that. You're not willing to do that. So a little bit weird. And yeah, a lot of you are talking right now about YouTube jail. You're talking about how you've been silenced yourself for your political speech. But don't worry, it's okay for Destiny to go out and just spew a bunch of nonsense about deleting conservatives. That's fine. But God forbid you say, hey, I hope everybody went to church this weekend, and you're deplatformed. You're gone. See you later. Peace out. Well, in other news here, by the way, if you're enjoying what you're hearing and seeing, we do this each and every morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'd love for you to join us here on the Bald Brad Show. Late night show, Jimmy Kimmel's back. Okay. Which is fine. Look, I think you should be able to say what you want to say. The only issue I have with that is you are utilizing a platform that's supposed to have equal time. And they're not. They're using it as a propaganda machine, and they're getting away with it basically for free. So late night host Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air, but he has limited viewership because the oh God, I forgot the name of the place that not that it syndicates it, but allows it to utilize Disney's affiliate stations. Nexstar is what it is. They're not allowing him to broadcast. So it's very, very limited. Kimmel's short-lived suspension ended on Tuesday as ABC reinstated his show and he returned to the air. Kimmel was suspended for, again, the misleading comments about the Charlie Kirk assassination. On his return, he played the victim yesterday. So listen to this. The president of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Well, yeah, he said that he didn't like you because you're lying. But here's the implication of this. The implication of him doing this right here is that let's remove the fact that Disney was the one that let you go. Disney was the one that suspended you. Nexstar and others didn't want you to be broadcasted because your show sucks. And by the way, it's losing money hand over fist. You are losing big time. So really, this should say Disney made it very clear that they want to see me and hundreds of those who work here fired from our jobs. But when you flip it, because the people that watch your show are probably knuckleheads themselves, they're going to agree with this. So just in the same way, he hasn't changed whatsoever, by the way, in the same way that he attributed right here, the activist killer as a conservative activist killer that belonged to the MAGA gang, right? That's originally what he got suspended for, was saying that Charlie Kirk's killer was part of the MAGA gang. Now he's twisting his words, saying the president of the United States made it very clear he wants us to be fired, even though there's truth to that. But the optics of it is, oh, well, he's the one that got me fired is the optics here. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke. We have to speak out against this. He's not stopping. And it's not just comedy. He's gunning for our journalists. Do you think that just questioning, do you think that the rhetoric was thought out of, hey, our conservative speaker, Charlie Kirk, was just gunned down 2 weeks ago. Do you think that maybe maybe anybody, these people that are for their livelihoods, right? They deserve those jobs. They're real thinkers. They're intellectuals. They have their head on straight. Would have thought about that in a board meeting going, hey, you're telling me nobody rose their hand and go, hey, Jimmy, just a quick one here. Do you think it's a good idea to use the word gunning for our journalists? Do you think that's an appropriate word to use when somebody was just gunned down on their side? Do you think this is what they do? He's not going to change. He hasn't changed. He is who he is. And he has every right to say it. And we have every right not to watch his show and to watch his ratings continually decline. And if you missed the ratings, let's go to them here. I will post them for you really quick. We showed this yesterday. Let me scroll all the way down here. I got some videos to show you in a moment. Jeez, man, we're flying through this show right here. The decline of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Look at that. But don't worry. Yeah, livelihoods. See, Jimmy, if you cared about people's livelihoods and you wanted to keep your show on air, yeah, you would do a better job, you idiot. Your show would be better. By the way, I used to watch The Man Show with him and Adam Carolla. I used to like Jimmy. And I might still like him if he would just shut up about politics and just, actually do some comedy and just do a normal late night show. Instead of using it as a propaganda machine, showing that you're bought off by said somebody. I don't know, hell, maybe George Soros or somebody else out there. The guy's he's falling off. So while suspension was lifted by Disney, check this out, Kimmel didn't have the reach he usually does, meaning those numbers are going to go down even lower, meaning you're losing more money, Disney. Some broadcast groups that are owned by ABC affiliates refuse to air Jimmy Kimmel Live. Nexstar, check this out, which owns 32 ABC affiliates, said it stands by Disney's original reason for suspending the host, and it will maintain that position until, quote, all parties are committed to fostering an environment of respectful, constructive dialogue. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not what this read, though. So if you're not able to get your show out there, even by the Sinclair Group, too, which operates 40 ABC affiliates. So think about all those affiliates that aren't getting out there to people. And now your advertisement hurts. You're not bringing that into the scale it was, because you used to promise people, right? When you send out these advertisements, we'll promise you minimum, 200,000 views or something like that. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel doesn't get much, you guys. It's really low. There's YouTubers that get more views than this. Charlie Kirk gets more views than Jimmy Kimmel. Like Nick at Night shows, I think, get better views than Jimmy Kimmel. So now your advertisement. So before they were losing money. Oh boy, right now, you just had a NFL punter have Jimmy Kimmel spread his legs and just punt his nonads right through his head. It's bad. So I don't see, I could be wrong. I don't see this show lasting for a long time. It's I think Disney utilized it as an opportunity to get rid of them because they were losing money and that was their moment. And then they brought him back. So before we move on, just want to thank all of you for always joining me here on the Bob Brad Show. We're not going anywhere just yet. I got some video to show you of Nick Shirley. If you don't know who he is, we've watched him before. But I want to give a shout out to all those that have joined Rumble Premium. We do Dark MAGA on Rumble Premium, and this is our main supporter. And now we're being sponsored by Rumble Premium. So you've been noticing that Rumble is growing pretty fast, man. And it's not slowing down, you guys. It is becoming the platform for streaming, and it will become the platform for videos as well. They are always adapting. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. You just saw that Google admitted to censoring conservatives under the Biden administration, and Facebook did it as well. So now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience with Premium. You get ad-free viewing, by the way, across the platform. No pre-rolls, no interruption, just the content you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scene drops, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble's offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO, all caps. Again, that's rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. You can also use the QR code right here at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium, promo code STUDIO. No ads, more freedom, and content you actually care about. That's the deal. And you'll get Rumble Premium, but you don't just get all my content that's behind the paywall. You get everybody's across the platforms content. And I will say, as somebody that also is a Rumble Premium, I put my money where my mouth is. I go and watch like Tim Pool's show after hours. I go and watch other people's stuff. And you will be surprised the way that people talk when they don't have fear of being censored. And that would be one of the reasons. And you guys have heard me say that. Be like, oh, well, now that we're behind a paywall, I know there's the people that want to see it are actually going to see it. I'll say whatever the hell I want. Not that I don't do that here, but gee, when you have this taking place, it's a little bit tough. Now, also want to announce that potentially, I'll make a decision by Friday. This is for everybody on YouTube, so you're going to want to listen. There is a potential that starting next week, I will not be posting anything. I won't be live. I won't be posting anything specifically to YouTube for 2 months, potentially to the end of the year. So I want you to think about that. I will be only streaming on Rumble, X, Kick, maybe TikTok. I want to see, I have to do an experiment here. It's the only option I have left for YouTube to see if I can get unshadow banned or removed. And I have an option, but it's going to take time to do that. So I will be on Rumble and X. I'm going to make a decision, but you guys don't understand how bad the shadow ban is on YouTube. The channel is virtually dead, just to let you know. We are getting legitimately 4 to 6 views an hour with over 2,000 videos. The channel's dead. I need to be clear here, you guys. The channel is dead. I have to do something, or we don't do anything at all, and we just stop with YouTube altogether and go over Rumble. I need to be clear. YouTube is great in sense of, oh, I can reach another audience, but there is still an option for you guys just to go over to Rumble or watch me on X or, other platforms. I will maybe be back on YouTube, but I know some of you have your subscription, but I have to do something at some point. Do you know what I mean? And, there is a potentially just the channel just going away altogether and just going over to Rumble. We're not making much money at all on YouTube, so there's really no point. And if anything, I'm just enabling a platform that wants to, as you saw, do this shit right here. So we'll see. But yeah, Miss Mom says this correctly. I could tell you now, YouTube doesn't promote you at all. Yeah, exactly. If you don't go to Kick, then you'll lose my sub forever. Well, that's fine, David. I don't like to be blackmailed, my friend. I need to be clear. This is going to sound very harsh, David. I love you. This is going to sound very harsh. I love everybody being here, but I'm not going to be like forced to do something. This, I'm trying to be very polite. This is a show that I do for fun. If you want to stick around, I would love for you to stick around, but I'm also not going to be like losing sleep over it, if that makes sense. I'm very thick-skinned, but I have to do what I think is best for the show that I spent fucking 5 years building, waking up at 4:30 in the morning every single day for 5 fucking years. I'm pissed about it, and I want to see if we can get this thing back. So, I love you. I love you. Brad, do what you need to do. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll let you guys know Friday. But again, we're here on Rumble. It's not like the show's ending. We get more views on X. We get more views on every single platform out there other than YouTube. How is that possible? How is it possible? How's it possible? So anyways, we'll see what goes on with that. I'll keep you guys updated. Just know I love you guys. I was a little harsh on David. David, I need you some love. Yeah, I know, but Kick's also giving me some issues. We'll deal with it there. All righty, where am I at here? Okay, so Nick Shirley. Where you at, Nick? Nick Shirley was out doing protests, and that's what he does. And it's kind of a long clip, but it looks like he was at a pro-Palestine rally protest, and this is basically what happened. I haven't seen these clips, but they were going viral yesterday.
Get fucking cocked, bitch! Trump fucks children. Guys, get ready! Say free Palestine! It's genocide! It's a genocide!
Cities!
Make a line of
Don't get physical.
Cities! Cities! Set the last one! Nothing grows without kids! Cities!
There's a whole lot of growth.
Cities!
and then want us to act the way that he wants us to act. You can't have it both ways. You can't have
Let me see if
it's back. Are you for that? Are you for that? Are you for that?
Get the right.
all right, I'm not gonna watch that because that girl was just running around naked. I got another one here. This is I had another Nick Shirley one. Here we go, right here. I can't. She keeps showing her. I'll get removed off YouTube. She keeps showing her, you know what, her wahoos. I didn't know that was gonna be a thing. So you saw how they're treating the guy, right? They're like, Zionism is white supremacy with an effing victim narrative. So that person, you know, with a mask covered, mask still up, sunglasses, right? So these people, remember, shout out to Nick for going out there. This guy, and I mean this in all literal sense, this guy is risking his life by doing these live streams of going to these protests. Anybody in this crowd could be armed and they'll just delete your ass. They'll put one right behind your head and you're done. And for them, they feel like they just were, you know, the Lord's savior. So you got to be careful. Now, what also happened yesterday was the party of tolerance strikes again. Left-wing rioters kick out young patriots who tried to set up a table and civilly debate about DEI at HBCU, Tennessee State University. So look at this.
They threw a drink up top.
Oh my gosh, they threw a drink up top.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Did somebody just throw something in our car?
Arrest. They just try to hit the car.
And this is why people do it. The police don't do anything. So you just went and, you know, you could say, oh, somebody scratched my window. You shouldn't be touching anybody's property. This is what they allow. So let me get this straight. The police department removes somebody's right to freedom of speech because of fear of their life rather than bringing in more police and removing the people that they suspect is to harm the people. Gotcha. Okay. So here's, nothing's changed, you guys. Remember, you need to change your rhetoric.
That was loud.
You need to change who you are. Remember how we were told, oh, conservatives need to tone down the rhetoric. These guys have been doing really great work on these campuses debating people. So here's the statement, and James Klug posted this. Wait, they are literally talking about the students that just violently chased people off campus for having political discussion. So here we go. This is from the TCU statement on unauthorized campus activity. Today, a group of individuals unaffiliated with Tennessee State University appeared on campus without prior notice. It's a state university, by the way. They don't need to give you a notice. In accordance with university policy, any demonstration or protest activity requires advanced approval or permitting. There was no demonstration. There was no protest. It was a conversation. You're allowed to have conversation in public square. Campus police and staff responded promptly, and the individuals were escorted from university grounds without incident. At all times, TCU students conduct themselves in a professional and respectful manner. Just question, that did not look respectful to me and professional at all. The guys did, and I've seen their stuff before. They just sit out at a table like Charlie Kirk did and just have a conversation. The safety and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff remain our highest priority. TCU will continue to uphold university policies and ensure that our campus remains a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of our community. Well, why don't you talk to your community? Because your community was the one that was harassing guests. But this is why this shit happens. Nothing changed because of Charlie Kirk, okay? The only thing that changed was that people came closer to faith. Other than that, all it did was expose the real evil, and the evil doesn't change. The evil's still going around and going after people. It's unbelievable. So here we are as well, where Antifa has surrounded the federal building in Eugene, Oregon to protest ICE. Nothing's changed. They're still wearing their riot gear, the bicycle helmet, all covered in black, right? All this stuff with the megaphones, mask covered. So again, I know I'm repeating myself. If you think anything has changed, if you think America has gotten closer since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, you are so wrong. It is head spinning. We're not united. We're not closer. These people will stop at nothing. And if anything, it showed that, oh, I just have to go to jail for deleting somebody. Oh, big whoop.
Fucking be here.
with your fucking iPhone.
Interesting. But don't worry. Yeah, no, these people are sane. Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, they're the ones that are contributing to society. They're making it a better place. Yeah, these are the people that will actually go out to their communities. Remember, these are the people that believe in socialism. Just want to point that out. They would love socialism, but yet they are doing nothing in terms of socialism. If anything, they're supporting capitalism left, just left and right with all their gear and their garb. These are probably also environmentalists, but yet these are the same people that want to destroy property. So we got that there for you. All righty, folks. Well, I do have to go to an early meeting today, so that means I have to end the show a little bit early. I apologize. And sorry to freak you guys out about YouTube. Again, I'll make a decision by Friday, but that doesn't mean the show is going anywhere. We're just going to be on Rumble and X and Kick, and maybe I'll stream on TikTok, but we've been banned off there for weeks at a time as well. We're basically being silenced from every which direction, it almost seems like. So with that being said, I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Again, we do this each and every morning on YouTube, X, Rumble. I got nothing else to say. We'll be back here tomorrow for not just our normal broadcasting, but also for Dark MAGA at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Appreciate you guys. God bless you for always supporting the show. Thank you. You guys are the true ones. And see you later. Take care.